So guys, as you saw on the thumbnail, give VAR the red card. Not two yellows, but a straight red. And I'm going to break it down to you why I feel that way. After this, and I'm going to give you some real reasons, after this, you'll probably think of VAR maybe in a different way. You're either one of two courts here. You're either a big VAR fan or you're not. If you're living in North America, you're going to be a fan of video replay because in North American sports, it's done to a fine art. And in other sports around the world, it's also done to a fine art as well. But for some reason, these guys in the Premier League can't seem to get their asses or their elbows in the right angles to get things done. I don't know why they have such an amazing problem with such a simple game. Football is a simple game. You know it's a simple game. We're not simple people. We've got a beautiful game, and the beautiful game relies on one major thing, and it's called flow. If the game has flow, you got a game of football. If you got no end of breaks, and I'm not talking about the referee's whistle, but I'm talking about VAR breaks. It seems nowadays every game, well, it's a rarity to have VAR not in use in any game nowadays, especially within the Premier League. And don't forget, VAR worldwide is used within the Premier Leagues, the higher echelon, the first tier of football. That's where you find VAR. You don't find it in the lower leagues. I'll give you an example. The Championship in England, League One, League Two, they don't use VAR unless it's into the final reaches of the playoffs, i.e. semi-finals and the playoffs. So they use it when it's important. But for the sheer cost of VAR, that's why it isn't throughout all the other leagues, the lower leagues, apart from the top leagues. I'm going to give you some great points, like I say, and I'm going to give you some real nice pictures to look at as well, where VAR has not exactly acted on its finest day. I'm not having a pull or a plug or a push. I'm just literally opening up your eyes and seeing it from my point of view, but I want to see it from your point of view as well. So I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to let you know some things. We're going to get into this. But remember, football relies on flow. If you've got no flow, you don't have a real game. And with the breaks that we've had so far with VAR continually, some of them taking way too long and they don't get the decision correct, as you saw recently at Arsenal and Newcastle up there in St. James's. In my opinion, there were 3 reasons why that goal should have been brought back, and it was very simple to have made that decision. I don't know why they have such a problem with it. And like I say, worldwide, especially here in North America, well, we're very used to video technology and video replays because it's been out here for decades and it's flawless. I'll give you one example. Take a look at the National Hockey League. Take a look at now the National Hockey League does its VAR. It's brilliant. It really is. And it's quick. It's swift. It's not 11 minutes. On average, 5, maybe 3 to 5. But it's not 11 minutes. Never. So they can't use the equipment for what the game was designed. And I think when you look deeply into it, there's very different games that VAR works well with, and there's some games that it doesn't. And because it's such a human instinct of a game, technology doesn't always play fair. And on the spin of a millisecond, you can change a decision from a good call to a bad call, literally by looking at it over and over and over and over again, just like the VAR team have done. I got to say, remember, it's about flow. It's about getting the call right. But I tell you, take a look at this picture, and I'll give you some reasons when we come back. Each picture I give you, I'll give you more reasons to think over the VAR situation and to think over one guy, Infantino at FIFA, with all the changes he's like making since he's been in the seat. There's another guy you want to focus in on. But take a look at this picture. I'll be back in a second. So that picture there, that was Liverpool and Tottenham. And obviously, the decision was wrong. But gotta say, you could see it, I can see it. Everybody worldwide could see it on the day too. Just making a little bit of fun at it. No need to get mad. We can go through this with a bit of fun. We can also get the point across too. Now, here's a couple of things I want you to think about. VAR, since the insertion, just a couple of things. It can take anywhere from, like, say, maybe, let's give them credit. If it's on the fly and they do it well, it can take a minute to get a VAR call done. We're talking Premier League, the slowest of the slow. It can also take up to 11 minutes. And as you saw on Sunday, Arsenal-Newcastle, it can take 3 calls within the call, 3 things that they're looking at on the VAR, over 11 minutes, and they can still get it wrong. It baffles me. It baffles me. Football is a simple game. You know that. Too many calls that they're looking at have logically gone wrong with the wrong decision after all the thought pathing and all the videoing. Too many have taken too long and still been wrong. Meanwhile, the game tempo dies. It dies a death. And remember I said football needs the flow to keep it beautiful, because that's the beautiful game. It's all about flow. So meanwhile, when you're taking in the VAR, the game tempo dies a death. So does the atmosphere. It's like the boringest thing in the world is to sit out in the cold, waiting for minutes. It's such a punch in the face to the traditional football fans around the world that like to have a call made by the referee, the human, and have it the human touch, because football is all about the human touch. The beautiful game needs the referees to have free will and not have their hands tied with this machinery of today. Also, don't rely on it. You see some referees, they back away, go, oh, let's go to the VAR because I don't have to make... You can see that they're backing away from taking charge of the game, is what I'm saying. So there's many ways you can look at this. But again, the human touch with the referee, with the whistle, with the carding system was all we needed. All we needed after that was goal line technology, like we saw in the 2014 World Cup when the ball went under the bar, 4 feet across the line. Frank Lampard, Germany. Should have been a goal for England, and it wasn't. And the Germans are like, yes, 66, have some of that, mein Freund. That's what they were saying. But anyway, you got to say, when the decision is made, everybody's on board. But it takes so long. So you ask yourself, has it bettered the game? Has it helped the referee? Has it improved the game for the referee? Has it hindered the referee? Has it hindered the game? It's certainly damaged the flow of the game. And remember, the game relies on the flow. Here's another picture for you. Take a look. What were you thinking on Sunday when this was taking so long? I mean, you can see, I would hope you could see that that ball is out. And I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I do like what Newcastle's doing right now. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I tell you what, that does look like it's out. What do you think? Was it out? What about the fouls before that during the build-up play? Were there fouls there too when the ball went back in the box? I mean, there's things that you can look at, and there's things that you don't need to look at. And if you didn't have VAR, then it would be just the man in the middle. And I guarantee you this, the man in the middle would have looked at that play with the linesman, who would have quickly, the referee now would quickly look at the linesman. The linesman would say, nothing. The referee would say, the game is live, keep it going. Play to the whistle. That ball would have come in. Then, if the referee saw something, it would have been stopped. Obviously, when the ball came back in, yada, yada, referee didn't see anything wrong with that. And the game continued. And the final finish, yeah, Gordon was onside for that tap-in. And yes, it's a big goal. I can understand Arsenal fans being totally pissed off and angry about that. And I can understand Arteta's reaction too, although sometimes he goes a little bazonkers. But you have to say, if you had just the referee, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. Take another look at another picture. So here's another picture for you. That was obviously at Manchester City, and that was against Fulham, when obviously someone standing in an offside position, ball came through. No call. It went into the goal, and they're saying it wasn't interference or offside or anything. And they're trying to make up that the guy definitely moves to the left side. Well, you know what? It's a split-second move, and I don't think that that position should have been called offside or interference, because the goalkeeper, in my opinion, was clearly in a position where he could see. Anyway, those are the kind of things that are going wrong in the game, as well as the offsides, as well as the little fouls, as well as someone's fingernail being further than someone else's fingernail closer to the goal. It's ridiculous at times. But if you want it right, then yes, VAR does get things right as well. But it's when it gets it wrong, and it's literally going wrong quite regularly. And Howard Webb, he's the boss of the referees, that is supposed to be clearing this up. Is he? Makes you wonder. Now, talking a couple of things. I literally love the game of football with 2 45-minute halves, and so would you. Here's the thing. I get to watch Wrexham AFC in League Two. I love watching Wrexham, and I have watched Wrexham for years, literally years and years and years. A lot of fun. But here's the point. When I watch Wrexham, I'm watching in League Two. There's no VAR. So there's no breaks, there's no interference, there's no bad stuff. It's traditional football, and it's absolutely freaking great. It's like everything you can't get in the Premier League. Premier League, all the best players, but all the worst technology for the entertainment. I mean, face it, a VAR call comes in, you got to sit on your hands, the game goes flat, the atmosphere dies, and then you get back at it. How many times you need to be switched on and switched off and switched on and switched off before you say, shit on this, I'm going to go watch Wrexham and have some fun in the lower leagues where it's real football without the VAR, without the BS, more fun, everything going, nothing stopping, and it's non-stop entertainment. That's what football should be. It shouldn't be about a break here, a break there, a check here, a check there. It's about constant football barraging the net, running the game left and right, total action, total entertainment, fans engaged, no complaints. Real football. EPL, you might have the best players, etc., but you don't have the best product on the field. You go down to the Championship, I call that England's best league, right? Because they have great football and it's a high level, but it's real football without the VAR. The VAR comes in with those lower leagues at the end of the season. Yes, it does at the playoff end, but the deep end of the playoffs, the semi-finals and the finals. But again, football without VAR is a much better place. Like I say, I'm watching with Wrexham. When we score a goal, I cheer my guts off, and I only do it once. I only need to cheer once because I know it's a goal. And the referee in the game, he is the human in charge of the game when Wrexham are playing in League Two. And he's the man. And he's in charge of it. And he makes the one call. And it's a final decision. And it's clinical. And we move on straight away. Literally moving on to the next play without any waste, like it was for over 150 years until some people somewhere from another planet brought the VAR into play. I'm making a joke, obviously, but really, the game with Wrexham as opposed to the Premier League, you want to try it. It's like watching a real game of football from just a few years ago before we had the machinery come in and kill the game, because it's killed the flow. There's loads of flow in the lower leagues. There's loads of guts, loads of glory, loads of goals, but you only cheer once. Premier League fans, are you not sick of cheering twice for every goal? I mean, are you not sick of it? Don't you want to just cheer once? Here's another picture. Like I say, I'm going to say that question. Who watches the best football? Ask yourself that now. You can watch your EPL team, and I'm happy for you to do so. Genuinely, I don't mean that in any rude way at all. But who watches the best football? I can tell you now. I watch Canadian Premier League football live when I go and do the games in the media at the Premier League. And that's live football without VAR. It's fantastic. Non-stop entertainment. The fans are engaged all the way through. They're not on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off like robots. And the Premier League fans have been turned into soccer footballing robots because they get to cheer twice for every goal, or they get told what to do, when to do it. Now, CPL, Canadian Premier League fans, totally alive, totally free to move as they will. They don't repeat the cheering for a goal. You also say Championship, League One, League Two, and the lower leagues around the world, also in the real world, they're not cheering twice for a goal. And I've got to say, it's sad when you see people cheer or cheer again for something that should have been so easy to give the first time around. And if you add machinery, technology, and it basically damages the game or damages your entertainment, takes down the entertainment a bit, and makes you pay more for it each year, do you think that's great entertainment? Is that real football? Because like I say, I hum it into you again. Watching Wrexham is heaven. Its Premier League rival is hell. I don't enjoy Premier League football anymore. I used to. I love the natural flow of the game and the beautiful game. And the lower leagues from the Championship down give what I need. It's real entertainment and it's exciting, and you're on your edge of your seat for 90 minutes. I am not on the edge of my seat for the Premier League anymore. It has been so over-commercialized and so changed that it's really not what I want to watch too much longer. And I'm telling you straight, I love this game, and I love the big teams. But the entertainment value and the way it's been disseminated down to the fans, it's absolutely the biggest turnoff I've ever had in football. And I've been watching the football 50 years. It's the biggest turnoff ever because it's damaging the entertainment and it's damaging the game. And if you can't see that, please tell me why. And if you think I'm an absolute nut job, please tell me why. But at the end of the day, Wrexham is heaven, the Premier League is hell. I got to say, it's good to get it right. But at what cost? Really, what cost? I see the crowd changing, and I got to say, you got the referees, you got the machinery. You've heard what I've said. I know you've got an opinion. You put it down below, right down below, what you think about VAR. Should somebody give them the red card and really stick them in the gunyons with one of these? Because I think they need the red card and out of here. You might not be of the same core. I'm a traditional football fan, have been a traditionalist for all my life. There's loads of traditionalists out there. If you're a traditionalist, what do you think? What's your thought on this? Do you like the VAR? Do you think it's okay? Can you stand it any longer? Do you hate it? Is it the worst thing since sliced bread? Or is it the best thing since, the US landed on the moon? What are you thinking? Where are you? What's your thoughts on it? I know what I think, and I think you can feel what I think, but I'd love to know what you think. And remember, for Canadian fans, the North American market, VAR wasn't even in your qualifying up until the last handful of games. You've got to ask yourself that why. Ask why. I'll tell you on another show. But I got to say, has VAR helped the game? Has it helped the refs? Has it helped your entertainment? Because I think personally the referees look horrendous at times with this system. I think it's damaged the game beyond repair until we remove VAR and firmly throw one of these right at the VAR machine. Get the VAR out of here. Because we don't need the game disrupting, slowing down, killing the flow, killing the mojo, killing the atmosphere of this wonderful, beautiful game any longer. FIFA, you need to take action and you need to come up with an idea of how you're going to admit you made the worst decision in world football by putting VAR on the map because it's damaging the game, like I said, and you are killing the referees with every bad call. Let me know what you think down below, guys, but I'll tell you what, VAR, a couple more pictures as we go out, but I give it the thumbs down big time. What do you think? Cheers.